to do, they give you an insurance policy, that costs you so much. It don't cost you twice what the house, with the house value. It don't cost you twice what the bank give you. Otherwise, you wouldn't need the bank.
Mm-hmm.
If you had that much money, you'd go build a house yourself.
Correct, correct.
So that's not an insurance policy. That is very misleading.
Well, Honorable Parnell, even the Minister of Finance said to this country to take his word
Mm-hmm.
that the fact that $110 million in a contingency, even if it was off on the mark.
Yeah, he was off on the field.
Okay, is provided in this loan. It does not mean that any of it will be spent or
Right.
utilized. Now, given the history of this administration, given the backdrop of the way this country finances have been managed under this Minister of Finance,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if he really reads the finance ordinance of the Turks and Caicos
Right.
Islands, which state that he is accountable to the people
Right.
for every dollar
Right.
in this country. And I hope he's watching tonight that he will run to his finance ordinance and see what he's really accountable to. And when we seen him just on February 11th, didn't have the courtesy to be truthful to the people of this country in their house. When you, a member of the opposition, asked him a simple question, Mr. Minister, what is the true figure?
Mm-hmm.
And he tells you one number, 113 million.
Right.
And then a few weeks later, he's coming, it's 124.
Right.
Then he come back and say, no, it's 135. You just got a little contingency
Mm-hmm.
of 110 million. This ain't 4% over.
Right.
This ain't 5% over what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about almost 88%
Right.
over. Honorable Parnell, given the backdrop of this country finances, and I wish that you can explain or just paint a little picture for our viewers, especially Turks Islanders overseas. And I say Turks Islanders overseas because they don't be here all the time. But can you paint a little picture of what our finances in this country really looks like?
Well, that's a very good point, Mr. Chairman, because we asked the question in the House of Assembly that very same day that we asked the question about the hospital financing. And the question was, what were the bank balances? And the answer came back that it was a little over 3,200,000 and something or 300 and something thousand dollars. I don't have the exact figure. Now keep in mind that the government has debt of $93 million.
93.
Right. So if
prior to this hospital.
Prior to this hospital.
Okay, so we're at 93.
Right.
Okay.
Now, in order to maintain that level of debt, the government must have 20% of that 93 locked away in the bank.
20%.
Right, or $18 million.
Okay.
So they were off. They had no reserves because you got 3 million something in the bank. 3 of that million has to be in a fund called the Conservation Fund.
Correct.
Right, which is to take care of the environment and all of those different things, which is not being done.
We didn't get to the environment.
But that 3 million is supposed to be locked away. So that only left them with about $300,000 that they could actually work with.
So
You see?
the cash available.
Yeah, it was about $300,000. And people have to understand that government salaries are over $5 million monthly.
So the government salary is $5 million monthly. And at February the 11th, the Minister of Finance stated the financial position of this country, we have no reserves. And just based on the debt that we have, we should have had at least 18 million in reserve, but we have no reserve.
Right.
Which means,
well, the debt that debt is secured by the UK government, that 93 million. So that is why they put these rigid processes in place to secure their liabilities, their contingent liabilities. Now, with this situation, they have exhausted all of those reserves. So it leaves us in a very precarious position because we could see ourselves back on grant aid. And you see now the British not wanting to go down that route of grant aid, they may say to the Turks and Caicos government that entertain something creatively because we ain't assigned nothing. You see? So this is the result of what we have, a very creative financing position where you have a healthcare provider borrowing money on behalf of the government, where you have the government not knowing what the true figure of the scenario of the hospital financing is. They don't know. They got to write to the bank to ask them what the true figure is. You have yourself a situation, a time bomb, waiting to go off in this country with the finances, and you have decreasing revenues coming into the treasury. So you ask yourself all the time, what's the true picture? What's the true picture? How are they getting money to pay their bills? How are they getting money to pay their bills? So it's not surprising that they wouldn't want people to know these facts. They wouldn't want people to know that the country's financial position is on shaky footing, and that they have to entertain creative financing in order to come up with ways to continue to maintain their bills that they have to pay on an ongoing basis. That, in a nutshell, is what we believe is happening. And what we would encourage them to do is just come up with other people.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Let's Talk Politics, coming live from the islands of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Tonight, my guest is the Honorable Doug Parnell, the current appointed member for the People's Democratic Movement in the House of Assembly. And tonight we're talking about the issue of this hospital deal that has actually taken the people by storm in the last few days. Honorable Parnell, back to this hospital situation. The Minister of Finance stated in his release on Friday that they have this contingency of 110 million. I mean, but you know, if you do the right math, it's this 111, but under this administrative millions go missing just like that.
Right.
But he said that they have this in the event that termination of a provider due to the lack of performance, and they need to get a new contractor. That's what it means. The provider needs a contractor.
Failed.
Right. And the contractors failed, and the new provider is retained as a result of the cost of the project, require additional finance. How, as a not just a parliamentary, but a man with an extensive financial background, how do you, as a citizen, view this statement by them?
Again, Mr. Chairman, the figure is 113,320,000. So the idea of contingency then is that if you go over this 113, then one of the three events that the bank says must have had to have happened. And the three reasons, they say, the reason for the difference in the following include that